Okay, I think we're back. Yep, we're back. We are good. I don't know why I chose to disconnect, but oh well. We're here now. That's fine. It's fine. Get a little chat. Sorry I disappeared for like a little bit. Another day of judgment. Would you look at that? Ghostly possession. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature has flying. All combat damage that would be dealt to and dealt by enchanted creature, it would prevent it. So essentially, your creature becomes a fog bank. So if you got some if you're late game, way I think about this, like for yourself, late game, you got some creatures that aren't too powerful on the field. You can put this on them. If you'll ever focus, there we go. Now you can put this on super, weaker creatures later in the game, and they become fog banks. Now, Time Wipe. This is a good one too. It's the exact same thing as Fall of Day of Judgment, except you can return a creature you control to its owner's hand. So if you have a really good card on your field that you don't want to get rid of creature-wise, you can keep it. You just have to go back to your hand. Everything else is screwed. Another Erase, another Plains, another Day of Judgment, another Pacifism, another Oblivion Ring, another Illusionary Armor. Would you look at that? More land. Ooh. Now hold on here. Let me put this other Plains down as well. Experience Supreme Judge. This is actually a nifty one. 6/4. It's a 6 cost, but whenever a creature attacks you or planeswalker you control, you may draw a card. It's powerful, and that draw is actually very nifty to have, to be quite honest. Vassal Soul. It's a 2/2 with flying. That's all. That's all it is. It's super nice though. I mean, it's a nice low cost. You can either tap 2 planes, or you could tap one of any color to get it out, along with either 2 planes, 2 islands, or a plane and island each. And of course, speaking of island, there's another one. I am an island boy. Planes, Niblis and Mist. I think I only have one of this. So I don't think I showed it off yet. When adds to the battlefield, you may tap target creature. Okay, if you'll ever focus, get this out of the way. There we go. So I'm sorry if there's a glare too. Unfortunately, nothing I can do about that one. Not yet, at least, hopefully. Ghostly Possession. Show of Valor. This one's actually kind of good to have. It's a 2-drop instant. Target creature you control gets +2/+4 until the end of turn. I have a few of these in here. And there's another one. Another Pacifism. More Lane. Chronomaton. This is a good card. This is a good early start card. Because what it is, it's a 1-drop, any color, because it's an artifact creature. If you tap it and tap 1 mana, you put a 1/1 counter on it. And those stay. So you can have this be a beefy boy. So I've had it be a beefy boy before. Of course, another really... Well, first, actually, before I show that, I'll save that for last. Island. If I can stop hitting the camera, that'd be nice. Rattle Chains. So it's just a 2/1 flash flying. When it enters the battlefield, target spear gains hexproof until end of turn. Which is always very nice to have. You know what? Oh, there we go. Always a super nice thing to have. I have 2 islands. This ain't staying in this deck because it's not obviously a spirit, but this is also really good. I actually got this and some polls earlier on MTG Arena. Hullbreaker Horror. So it's a 7/8 flash spell. This spell can't be countered. When I cast a spell, I choose up to 1. Return target spell you don't control to its owner's hand, or return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. So you can get some good infinite combos off of this one if you have the right cards. I've seen it happen before. It's BS. Very BS, but it wins you the game if you can pull off that combo. And then last but not least, this baby here. One of my the biggest pride and joy in this deck. Detention Spear. It's an enchantment. God, forgive my voice for going out like that. Let me read it first. So, whenever Detention Spear enters the battlefield, you may exile target non-land permanent not named Detention Spear and all other permanents with the same name as that permanent. When it leaves the battlefield, return the exiled cards to the battlefield in its owner's hand. Control. So, say someone has, you know, a bunch of, for example, a very specific example, like if a friend of yours has 4 Vorpeats out on the field, and you don't want to fucking see those things ever again. I mean, for a while. Just cast the Detention Spear, name Vorpede, and they're exiled, baby, until this goes away. But that's where you hope they don't have anything that can take this out. Okay, let me just give it one last look here. Okay, if it'll ever show. What if I block these out? There we go. That sweet card. And that's my blue-white. That is the deck that started it all. The deck that started my journey as a Magic the Gathering player. Now next up, so automatically I'm going to save my best for last. So this will come last because this is my best deck. Absolutely proud of how this deck is built. And I actually didn't look up any, I mean I had a few like recommendations like, oh, you should get this card for, you know, for that. Like I had a few recommended, or a couple recommendations, but otherwise, that deck I did build on my own, so I'm going to go by order of when I made it, besides that one. I'll let you know when I get to it, what order it was. So I'm going to do next, good old red-green mana ramp. Oh, this is a beefy deck. So right off the bat, these are not in the deck, but I definitely need to add them in. Magnetic Insight. That's what it is. So, there we go. Look at that card. Look at that wonderful shine. As an additional cost to cast Magnetic Insight, discard a land card, and I draw 2 cards. I might put these in, because I have plenty of land in here. And with the mana ramp, I can definitely get them out pretty easily. So, first and foremost, let's start. Okay, put those over here. We got Nisa's Pilgrimage. So, search your library for up to 2 basic forest cards. Reveal those cards and put 1 onto the battlefield tapped, and the rest into your hand. Then shuffle your library. And it has Spell Mastery as well. If there are 2 or more instants and/or sorcery cards in your graveyard, search your library for up to 3 basic forest cards instead of 2. So instead of having 1 go to your hand, 1 on the field, 1 to your hand, it'd be 1 on the field, 2 in the hand, which is nice. My Llanowar Elves, which I just call my Llanowar Elves, just for the hell of it. It's a 1-drop, 1/1 elf. You can tap it for 1 green mana, which is very nice, by the way, especially early game. Now, speaking of nice, Chandra's Outburst. It deals 4 damage to target player or planeswalker, but you can search your library and/or graveyard for a card named Chandra Bold Pyromancer. Reveal it and put it in your hand. If you search the library this way, shuffle it. It's just always super nice to have, especially if your Chandra's in the graveyard. I have 2 of them, so I could pull her out twice. Forest, some mountains, as you saw. Gift of Growth. It has a kicker summon of 2 additional mana, if you choose to kick it. Untap target creature, it gets 2/2 to end turn, but if it was kicked, that creature gets 4/4 instead. Which is always very nice. As you can tell, well, as you're about to tell, I have a lot of kicker cards. Because, I mean, it's a mana ramp. If you're gonna mana ramp, you're gonna have some good kickers. Oh, Timber Gorge. This one just taps for either a forest or a mountain. It comes in tapped at first. But if I have one of these in my hands at the beginning of the game, I like to play them out immediately, so that way I can have that advantage. Okay, let me see if I can hold it up just right here. Here we go. Okay. More mountains, more Timber Gorge. Fight with Fire. This one's actually very nice. Hell of a kicker cost though. But it's Fight with Fire. It's a 3-drop, 1 red, 2 additional mana. But the kicker is 1 red, an additional red mana and an additional 5 mana. So it deals 5 damage to target creature. If it was kicked, it deals 10 damage divided as you choose among any number of targets instead. So it's a hell of a lot to kick, but it's definitely worth it. It's very much worth it. And then we got Elfheim Druid. It's a 0/2 2-drop. You can tap it for 1 green mana, or you can tap it for 2 green mana if it's going towards kicker spells, which that is very, very nifty. And Balaf Gorger. Oh, one of my beefy boys. It's a 4/4, so which is good in general. 4/4 is already pretty decent, but if you kick it, which is an additional 4 mana to kick, if I can ever get it to look, it gets 3/1/1 counters on it, so it becomes a 7/7. And another Lawnmower Elf, another Timber Gorge, Ranger's Path. Search your library for up to 2 forest cards, then put them onto the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle your library. Okay, let me see if I can get into focus here. There we go. Look at that beauty of a card. So another Fight with Fire, another Mountain, Memorial to Unity. It's a basic land card, or it's a land card. It's Memorial to Unity, it's a battlefield tapped. You can tap it for 1 green mana. Or there's that bottom ability, Memorial to Unity. I tap it. I tap 1 green mana and 2 additional mana. I sacrifice it. Look at the top 5 cards in my library. I may reveal a creature card among them and put that into my hand. I put the rest of my bottom of my library in any order. And I usually like to do that more towards late game, because you know it's nice to have that additional mana at the beginning, of course. So more green. A Fire Elemental. It's the only thing about it is it's a 5/4, but it's 5/4 is definitely very beefy. It's a 5-drop, 2 of it being red mana. Okay, more forest. Another Fire Elemental. There she is. The Planeswalker herself, Chandra Bold Pyromancer. So it, legendary Planeswalker, Chandra. Her +1 is I add 2 red mana, and she deals 2 damage to any target player. -3, Chandra Bold Pyromancer deals 3 damage to target creature or Planeswalker. And the -7, Chandra Bold Pyromancer deals 10 damage to target player and each creature and Planeswalker they control. That -7 is beefy, and she starts off a 5 too, so as long as you can keep her well defended, you can get that -7 off pretty quickly. And especially if you haven't done the Chandra's Outburst right away, like just yet. If you can get the 2 Chandra's Outbursts after she dies again, you could do that like 2 more times. Or at least 2 more times. So, Pyromantic Pilgrim. It's a 3/1 with haste. Usually this is just fodder for me. I don't use it that much. Krosan Druid. It's a 2/3, 3-drop. But the kicker is what I go for with this one, always. Because if you can kicker some of it, which is an additional forest and an additional 4 mana, you gain 10 life. And I've made use of that so many times. So many times. Another Pyromantic Pilgrim, a Rampant Growth. Search your library for a basic land card and put that card on the battlefield tapped. Then I shuffle your library. I usually use Rampant Growth from my mountains because that's the only way I can get those out in that sort of manner. Another Chandra's Outburst, another Fire Elemental. Shifting Ceratops is a really good one. It can't be countered, protection from blue. And then if you tap a green mana, you can tap a green mana. It gains your choice of Reach, Trample, or Haste until end of turn. So, like, you could tap 3 green mana if you have it available after summoning this, just to give it Haste, Trample, and Reach. Which is very nice, I must add. Very, very nice. Oh, now this. Speaking of beefy boys, Wake Root Elemental. Perfect card for this deck. It is a 2 forest, 4 additional mana drop, 5/5. But if you tap 5 forest cards, its ability is untap target land you control. It becomes a 5/5 elemental creature with haste. It's still a land though, so not only is it still a land, it's a 5/5. If you got enough creatures, enough force like that, you can have an army. And Shivan Fire is a nice little simple one. Deals 2 damage to target creature, and then if you kick it, which is additional 4 mana, you deal 4 damage to that creature instead. So it's nothing super big, but it's nice to have. Definitely good for those decent cards. Steel Leaf Champion. It can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, and it's a 3 green drop. Very nice to have early game. Super, super nice. And Rada Heir to Keld. So it's a 2/2 legendary creature, elf warrior. Whenever it attacks, you may add 2 red mana to your mana pool. If you tap it for a green mana. So I like to attack with it usually if I can. Otherwise, I don't mind having that 1 green mana. Primordial Worm is next, which is a 7/6. Super neat. Super beefy boy right off the bat. Mountain. Timber Gorge, another Ranger's Path. Forest. Another Shivan Fire. Run Amok, which is an instant target attacking creature, gains 3/3 and gains trample until end of turn, which is super nice. Now for the beefiest card in this deck. I mean, when you kick it at least. Grunn the Lowly King. It is a legendary creature, Ape Warrior. 5/5 usually. It's a 2 forest, 4 additional mana drop. Hold on here. There we go. As you see, but the kicker is 5 additional mana. Right? No, 3. If it was kicked, it enters the battlefield with 5 1/1 counters on it, making it a 10/10. But the neat part is whenever it attacks alone, you double the power and toughness to end the turn. So if you kicker summon this, attack alone, you have a 20/20 on your hands. Now if you play Run Amok on it as well, like you give it Run Amok, you got a 23/23 with trample, which usually that's game over right there usually, unless your opponent's been gaining life, like a lot of life, which that's definitely happened quite a bit for me. That, or I just never get the chance to attack with it. Now this one is a Living Twister. It's a 2 mountain 1 forest drop. It's a 2/5 elemental. Discard if you tap 1 additional mountain and 1 additional mana. Discard a land card and it deals 2 damage to any target. Now if you tap a forest, you return tap land you control to its owner's hand. Just kind of nifty. A mountain forest. Another Baloth Gorger. Another Nisa's Pilgrimage. Another Ranger's Path. Yet another Nisa's Pilgrimage. Mountain, Burning Tree Emissary, good early game one. Actually good for any time, mainly for its ability here. So it's a 2-drop. It can either be 2 mountains, 2 forests, or a mountain and a forest. When it enters the battlefield, you add a forest and a mountain to your mana pool. So I've got 2 of these. So say you got enough mana for that and another card. You can play that. Get that mana back that you played for it. Play it another one, get that mana back, and then play with another creature if you like, or whatever card you want to do. Another Rampant Growth, and then a Gilded Lotus. It's not a Black Lotus. I really wish. But it's a 5-drop. You add 3 mana of any one color. So, which is super neat. I've made use of that. I know I have a couple decks I want to put more Gilded Lotuses in. But that is my red-green mana ramp. One of the beefiest decks I have. just for how out of control it can get pretty fast. Like you get a bunch of Rampant Groves and some good a few Nissa Pilgrimage and Ranger's Path right off the bat. You have just a bunch of land at your disposal right then and there. So now that that's done, I'm gonna go for the, I believe, 4th deck. This is the 4th deck I've ever had. The the Slytherin one. I kind of said what it was. It's named Angel Demon deck. Was my 3rd deck, but for now, I'm gonna show my mono white deck just to start. You'll see the clean black sleeves here. Very clean, very chunky deck. So of course, the only lands you're gonna see are plains. That's it. That's the only one. Anointed Chronicler. This is actually a deck, by the way, my friend got me for Christmas last year. It's a good starter deck. So if you're starting off the game, if you're starting off for the first time, this is nice. Even afterwards, it's still a nice deck. So Anointed Chronicler, it's a 1-drop human cleric. A lot of the cards here are humans. It has lifelink, and if you tap plains and 4 additional mana, it gets 3/3 until end of turn, which ain't bad necessarily. But I mean, there's ways you can make it work to where you can put that on there, and then you'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. I'll get to those cards eventually. So plains. Wait, didn't I have? Oh, I'm doing it from the bottom. Okay, that's right. Tempered Veteran. It's a 1/2 2-drop. If I tap a plains and tap this, I put a 1/1 counter on target creature with a 1/1 counter on it. Or if I tap 2 plains and then 4 mana, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. So like if I'm playing Chronicler, you get the 3/3 on it. You can tap just 1 plains and this, just so it becomes a 4/4 and then keeps the additional mana, or it keeps the additional tap thing. Not the 3/3 at least, but the 1/1 that comes with it. Plains, I absolutely love this plains card too. So my favorite plains design, such a sick look on it. If we could ever focus, there we go. Look at that, so cool. Okay, another Tempered Veteran, another Anointed Chronicler, a plains, another plains. Oh, Vern Wingmare. It's a Pegasus, 2/1. Flying non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. So if you got someone that likes to play them non-creature spells quite a lot, you can make them pay that additional 1, which ain't a lot, but it can really make or break a game. And you got Basari's Acolyte, a lifelink, 2/3. When it enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 other target creatures you control. Just a little nice one to have. Adherent of Hope. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control Basari's Planeswalker, put a 1/1 counter on Adherent of Hope. So it's a nice little 2-drop, 2/1. So you can already see this deck's based on gaining power and all that. So Sigiled Contender has lifelink as long as it has a 1/1 counter on it. Oh yes, the Sigiled Contender, by the way. So yeah, this deck is all about having like counters on it. There's another plains. Another plains. Who would have guessed so many plains? Another Sigiled Contender. Alright, plains. Banishing Light. When it enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent opponent controls until Banishing Light leaves the battlefield. So it's just another Oblivion Ring, essentially. So you can have 4 of these and 4 Oblivion Rings. And I think there's one other card that does the same thing. So at least one other card. So you can have fucking 12 of the same abilities, but it's just all different cards. So it's not breaking any rules, technically. Speaker of the Heavens. It's a 1/1 Vigilance lifelink. If I tap it, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. You can only activate this ability if you have at least 7 life more than your starting life total, and only any time you can cast a sorcery. So if you have lifelink, But I mean, there's a good amount of lifelink in this deck. Usually, you know, you start off with 27 or 20 life usually. At least the way we play it here. You get 27 life, you keep getting them angels out. Oh boy, you can overrun your opponents pretty quickly here. Seasoned Hollowblade, a 3/1 Human Warrior. Discard a card. You tap it, it gains indestructible until end of turn. Oh? Discard a card, tap Seasoned Hollowblade, it gains indestructible until end of turn. I'll have to see how that works. Does it untap or? I don't know. I'm trying to see if I can show it off. It's nice holographic. Okay, come on, camera. You know you can pick it up. Maybe. There we go. That nice holographic card there. Alright, another plains. Ooh, fight as one. So it's a 1-drop, instant, choose one or both. Target human creature you control gains 1/1 and gains indestructible end of turn, or target non-human creature you control gets 1/1 and gains indestructible to end of turn. It's nice that it has you can choose both as well. It makes it's a very good 1-drop, instant. Battlefield Makeshift Battalion. It's a 3-drop. Human soldier. Whenever it makes a battalion and at least 2 other creatures attack, you put a 1/1 counter on Makeshift Battalion. And of course, those counters do stay, so you can make it a 4/3 and then more. Another Tempered Veteran. Another Makeshift Battalion. Another Plains. Ooh, Swift Response. Destroy target tapped creature. Which is honestly kind of nice. Super cool. Another Basari's Acolyte. Another Plains. Another Makeshift Battalion. Anointed Chronister. Mardu Woe Reaper. It's a 2/1 1-drop. Whenever Mardu Woe Reaper or another warrior enters the battlefield under your control, you may exile a target creature card from a graveyard. If you do, you gain 1 life. So again, gaining that life. It's not necessary. It's not lifelink, but it's definitely life gain. Okay, there we go. There we are. Another Sigiled Contender. Ooh, Puppy. Alpine Watchdog. It's a 2/2 with Vigilance. It's a 2-drop. I like it because Doggo. Best card right here. I don't care what anyone says. I'm willing to bet Alpine Watchdog could beat any Planeswalker out there. Okay, so Planeswalker. I mean, Plains, not Planeswalker. We'll get to my Planeswalker eventually. He's somewhere in here. Another Makeshift Battalion, another Anointed Chronister. Sorry, it's Acolyte. Ooh. I added these. These are the last cards because I have 2 of these. These are the last ones I added in. These are so nice in this deck. I have 2 of them just in case someone gets rid of the other one, but that's alright. So, Oketra's Monument. When white creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 1/1 white creature to a warrior creature token with Vigilance. So Oketra's Monument definitely gets some good plays in this deck. And like I said, I got 2 of them. Another Banishing Light. I got 2 of them just in case someone were to get rid of one of them. So that way I have a backup. So Plains. Another Plains. Another Plains. Basari's Aegis. Remember Chandra's Outburst is kind of the same thing, except a little different. So instead, I mean, you still search for Basari the same way you would for Chandra with Chandra's Outburst, but instead of the deal 4 damage, you put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Of course, search your library or graveyard for Basari, Devoted Paladin. You reveal it, and of course you shuffle. You put it in your hand and you shuffle your library if you found it through your library that way. Another fight is one. Another Basari's Aegis. Plains. Another Adherent of Hope. Basari's Lieutenant. 3/4 Vigilance Protection from Multicolored. Oh, I don't think I've ever used this card, so I didn't know it was that. No, I've used it before. Okay, never mind. When Basari's Lieutenant enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Whenever Basari's Lieutenant or another creature you control dies, if it had a 1/1 counter on it, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. Okay, because I remember I used that with another swift response. I used that with Arketra's Monument before that for that combo to get some pretty decent tokens out of it. Adherent of Hope, another one. Aven Gagglemaster. It's a 4/3 flying bird warrior. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life for each creature you control with flying, which this deck admittedly doesn't have a lot of flying, but I might make a bird deck to go with Arctic Aven and this, because I imagine you can get a good chunk of life from that. That is 1. Plains, another Plains. Aven Gagglemaster, Basari's Acolyte. Perimeter Sergeant, human soldier 3/2. When Perimeter Sergeant attacks other humans you control, get 1/0 until end of turn. Until end of turn, it's still not bad at least. Still pretty good. Let's see, another Plains. There he is. Basari Devoted Paladin. There's the Planeswalker of this. And look at that nice holographic too. So it's he starts off with 4. +1. You put a 1/1 counter on up to 1 target creature. It gains vigilance until end of turn, but the counter still stay, of course. -1. Whenever a creature attacks this turn, put a 1/1 counter on it. Or to -6. Creatures you control gets 2/2 and gain flying until end of turn. So it's a good like all for nothing hit right there. All or nothing hit right there. So Adherent of Hope and another Arketra's Monument. And that is the mono white. I say that deck, you know, it's more of a starter deck. I mean, it's still good though, even past starter. Like I've made some very good use out of it before. Now, next up is me finding the deck. Oh, there it is. Right here. I'm blind apparently. Next up, we got 2 more decks. This next one, it's not a bad deck in theory, but in practice, let's just say it could be better. It could most definitely be better. I need to rework it probably later or tomorrow. I'm not sure. Before Saturday. That's when our group's next game night is. So I definitely gotta make sure it's caught up a bit. There's some cards in here that. Oh yeah, I want to show you how this opens. So, of course, you know, it's right here. You know, you got this opening. You know, it opens like this, but you just have it open like this. It's actually kind of cool. Of course, when you want to close it, it's just a dragon. It's a dragon. Now, next up is the Vampires. My blue-black vampire deck. Which is I think my biggest deck. It's look how fucking thick this deck is. I'm definitely going to be slimming it down. And of course taking out a chunk of cards. A good chunk of cards. Because I have another deck idea that I can use the cards. Some of the cards I'm going to be taking out for. And look at this. I got a Mirko. Mind Drinker. I think Mind Drinker, I believe. I have the card in this deck. So I believe you'll see the name for sure. I got the sleeve for it. Let's see. First up, Duskmantle Seer. This actually is one of the better cards. Okay, so Duskmantle Seer, if it'll ever show up. Okay, there we go. It's a 4-drop, flying 4/4 at the beginning of your upkeep. Each player reveals the top card of their library, loses life equal to that card's converted mana cost, then puts it into their hand. That doesn't mean that. So you can draw 2 cards on your turn. But the first one is just the one that will be taking life away from you and everyone else, as well as everyone else. But for everyone else, it's going to be their own card instead of yours. And then you draw your own card, like a regular draw step. You have a Perplex, so count a target spell unless the controller discards his or her hand, or you can choose to transmute it for a Swamp island and 1 additional mana. So you search for a card with the same mana cost. Which I have one that's not a perplex that is the same exact mana cost. See if I can get to focus. Maybe. Come on, camera, work with me here, please. Is there something you're looking at? There we go. There we go. Now it's focusing. Look at that wonderful card there. Mind Grind. So I'll show this off real quick. Mind Grind. It's a swamp, island, and additional mana as many as you put. As you tap, each opponent reveals cards from the top of his or her library until he or she reveals X land cards. Then put all cards revealed this way into his or her graveyard. X can't be 0. So of course you gotta tap at least 1. So like say you tap 4 additional mana to go along with the 2 mana. So everyone would, all your opponents would have to reveal top of their libraries until they reveal 4 lands total. Then they put that all in the graveyard. It's a mill deck. It's a mill counter, actually. But I'm going to focus more on the milling part. I'll take out a good chunk of the counters. I have another idea for a deck that I'll be using them for. So we got Mana Leak next. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 3 mana. It's a 2-drop, which is not bad. Not bad. And then I got a Drowned Catacomb. A dual land, but it enters the battlefield tapped unless you control an island or a swamp. So if you got an island or a swamp out already, this comes in untapped, ready to go. Got an island. Vampire Charm Seeker. I only put this card in because I'm a simp and I thought she was fucking hot. Probably kind of embarrassing to admit, but oh well. It is good for team games though. So it has Assist, which another player can pay up to 6 mana of this spell's cost. So it's one of those cards that are more meant for team play. When it enters the battlefield, you return target instant, sorcery, or creature card from a graveyard to its owner's hand. So again, on its own, like when you're doing it by yourself, it's a pain in the ass, especially since it's 3-4. It's not that good solo game wise, but team games, that's where it thrives. That's where it absolutely thrives. Island, swamp, Basilisk's Collar. It's a one drop equipped creature, has Death Touch and Lifelink, and it costs 2 additional mana to equip it to a creature. So if a creature has it, dies, it doesn't go away. You just have to re-equip it as a different creature. Vampire to Dire Moon is a nice 1-drop. Death Touch Lifelink 1/1. Super neat card. One of the most used cards, obviously, for its low cost. Another Perplex. Sign in Blood, a cool design for it, by the way. Target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. Look at that design. It's one of my favorite designs for a Magic card, honestly. Vampire Nighthawk. One of the best vampire cards out there because it's the most used. From my experience, at least. Vampire Nighthawk is a 2 or 3-drop, 2 of it being black mana. It has Flying, Death Touch, Lifelink, and it's a 2/3. And we got Dash Hopes. When you play Dash Hopes, another player may pay 5 life. If player does, you counter Dash Hopes, but you counter target spells. There's a bunch of counter in this deck, as you're about to see. Swamp. A Choked Estuary is my other dual land I have. But what it does is it enters the battlefield. It can enter untapped. If you reveal an island or a swamp, it comes in untapped. Otherwise, if you don't, it comes in tapped. But of course, it's another dual land, so you can add a swamp or a island. Then here's my Perplex card, the one that I can perplex out. Runo Stromkirk. It's a legendary creature, vampire cleric, flying. When it enters the battlefield, let me see. Put up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to the top of your library. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. You may reveal that card. If a creature card has mana value 6 or greater, is revealed this way. You can transform it. So it's a double-sided card. So let me just look here. Flip it around. No, put it back right the way it was, but I'll just show off. This Croesus, Lord of the Deep. It's a 3/5 legendary creature, Kraken horror. It has flying, and whenever Croesus, Lord of the Deep attacks, create a tapped and attacking token with a copy. That's a copy of another target attacking creature. If that creature is a Kraken, Leviathan, or Octopus, or a Serpent, create 2 of those tokens instead. So it's nice because you can get a decent amount of tokens out that way. So let me just put this back in the sleeve real quick. There we go. Another Mind Grind. Etra the Silencer. 3/5. So it's a legendary creature, vampire assassin. She cannot be blocked, but whenever she deals combat damage to a player, exile a target creature that player controls and put a hit counter on that card. That player loses the game if they own 3 or more exiled cards with the hit counters on them. Etrada's owner shuffles Etrada into their library, and the way we do it, way we understood it when I started using this with my group is when she attacks, then you shuffle her, not after, the 3 hit counters are put in. Which makes sense because that means she would be absolutely way too broken. Like, you pull her out on like a solo game, you hit opponents with her 3 times, you're done. You're dead. And another Swamp. Restless Bloodseeker, another 2-sided card. I'll show here soon. That's a vampire 1/3 at the beginning of your end step. If you gain life during this turn, create blood tokens. Blood tokens are it's an artifact with tap 1 and tap the blood token. You discard a card, sacrifice that artifact, and draw a card. You can sacrifice 2 blood tokens to transform it. You may only transform it as if it was a sorcery. There you go, so I'll go ahead and show the double side of that. If I can stop hitting my mic and camera, that'd be wonderful. Okay. So it transforms into Blood-Soaked Reveler, which is a 3/3, and it has the same blood token sort of thing, like, if you gain life. But the bottom thing is you tap a swamp and 4 additional mana. Each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So it's kind of nifty to have, like, late game. Okay, there we go. Alright, put that back. Oh, Chronic Flooding. This I'm definitely keeping here. You enchant a land. It's a 2-drop. Whenever enchanted land becomes tapped, its controller puts the top 3 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. So you put this on an opponent's land, they tap it, and they have to put those 3 cards in your graveyard. The only downside is if you're going against a reanimation deck. Then you're kind of screwed there. Another Basilisk Collar, Island, another Duskmantle Seer. I forgot I had 2. Another Dash Hopes. Moroi, this is why I like to put Basilisk Collar on usually, is this, Moroi. It's a flying 4/4. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life. Of course, that's where the Basilisk Collar comes in. And you gain, instead of taking 1 life, it's a trade-off, instead of gaining the 4 life and you gain 3. Okay, let me see if I get the focus here. Maybe. Okay, there we go. Show off more. Island Boy. Another Restless Bloodseeker. Another Island and another Chronic Flooding. Another Drowned Catacomb. Norn's Annex. I have 2 of these. I'm taking one of these out for the next deck. I'll be showing you the last deck. But what it does is creatures can't attack you or planeswalker you control unless the controller pays that special little symbol there for each of those creatures. So what that symbol means, as you see, is that symbol can be paid with either a plains or 2 life. So there's no plains in this deck, and I have two of these. So that's like 8 life gone. So I'm okay with having 1 because it's a really good combo with something else I have. Another Basilisk Collar, which hopefully I'll pull here soon. Choked Estuary, Vampire Nighthawk, another Moroi, another Perplex, Counter Squall, which these are my least useful counters, admittedly, in this deck. I don't get to use them too much. Counter target non-creature spell. Its controller loses 2 life. It's not bad. It's not a bad card by any means. I just never get to play him like I want to. And this is the card I like to pair with Norn's Annex. Isolation Cell. It's a 4-drop artifact. And whenever an opponent casts a creature spell, that player loses 2 life unless he or she pays 2 mana. So it's a nifty little way of keeping people in check. Keep your opponents in check. And I have a not a Sanguine Bond, Exquisite Blood. I can't read it to you because this one is in Korean, and I haven't been keeping up with learning my Korean. The Dual Eagle Owl is hunting for me as I speak. I have another one of these, so that's in English, so I can read it off once I find it. Another Mana Leak. Another Vampire Dire Moon. Korean card, yep. Korean card. Vampire Dire Moon. Another Norn's Annex. And a good old Sanguine Bond. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. So of course this is a card you gotta put with, like, if you don't know, get Magic the Gathering. Let's just say Exquisite Blood and Sanguine Bond are a very OP combo. It's a very infinite combo, so you can just win the game with those combos alone. This card might take it. I'm not sure. I never fucking use it. Flying, whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Okay, so it's a good combo with. It's another good Sanguine Bond combo, I guess. Now that I look at it, but I never use this card because the cost is 7. It's a 7-drop creature, 4/5 if it ever show up. So as decent as it is, it's my most useless card in this deck. Drowned Catacomb and a swamp. An island. A swamp. Bloodborne Scoundrel, another good team. Because it has the assist that you can pay up to 5. Another player can pay up to 5 of this spell's cost. Whenever it enters the battlefield, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So, like, if you're doing team, it's great. Otherwise, solo, it sucks. I'm just gonna be honest. It sucks solo-wise. Another Restless Bloodseeker. Chronic Flooding. My Japanese Mind Grind. I know these ones I ordered from, like, the same. This and the Exquisite Bloods. I ordered from, like, the same site. I can't remember which site it was, though. Because most of the time, I get my stuff from Star City. But they were out of those on Star City, so I had to use a different. I think it was TCG Player I ordered those from. So Island, Swamp, and Zedek, Lord of Secrets is actually a pretty good card if you can get him out. It's a 7-drop, flying 5/5, but if it would deal combat damage to a player, instead put that many 1/1 counters on Zedek, and that player puts that many cards from the top of their library into their graveyard. So it's a good mill. It's a good mill creature. Another Swamp. Another Dash Hopes. Nightvale Predator is a really nifty, nice one. It's a 2 Swamp, 2 Island drop, 3/3 flying Death Touch, and it has Hexproof, so it can't be the target of spells or opponent spells or abilities too, for that matter, that your opponents use. Mana Leak, another Mind Grind. Pulling Venom is a neat one. Enchant Land. Whenever Enchanted Land becomes tapped, its controller loses 2 life. And if you tap a Swamp and 3 additional mana, you destroy the Enchanted Land. Choked Estuary, which I never do the land thing unless I absolutely have to. I've never had to destroy target land. It's just nice to have that 2 additional. Swamp. And then Mirko Vosk, Mind Drinker. Yep, this is what the sleeves are. Mirko Vosk. So it's a 1 swamp, 1 island, 3 additional mana, 2/4 flying. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, that player reveals cards from the top of his or her library until he or she reveals 4 land cards. Then you put those cards into their library. Edgy artwork, I know, so edgy. So here's full of the sleeves. That was a lot better. But it's a great mill card. Very great. I wonder why my friends hate when I play this deck. Granted, it's only ever won once. Oh, I got holographics too. 2 holographic counter squalls. Another drowned catacomb. Oh, Archive Trap. I love this card. You'll see why. So it's a 2 island and 3 additional mana by regular means. But if an opponent searched his or her library during this turn, you can play it for like 0 mana. And what it does is target opponents put the top 13 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. So usually it's a 5-drop. But if you have someone that looks through their deck, and it's an instant, by the way, it's an instant. But no, usually it would cost 5. But if someone searches for a deck for any card, by any means, it costs 0 instead. So if you can get a 0 cost mill 13, oh, your friends will hate you. Trust me, I know. So another Nightveil Predator, a Pooling Venom, a Counter Squall, and Sign in Blood. Okay, I don't have an English Exquisite Blood. Exquisite Blood is the opposite of I'll pull up the Sign in Blood. Target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. So I have a regular Sign in Blood as well. So let me just pull up so that way I can read the details just right. Okay, so Exquisite Blood. MTG. Yep. So what Exquisite Blood does, no, I don't want to order another one. When you gain life, opponent loses life for Sanguine Bond. Exquisite Blood is if your opponent loses life, you gain that much life. So you just got this infinite combo going on if you got Exquisite Blood and Sanguine Bond out. It's one of the cheapest moves in the game. By that, I don't mean mana cost. I just mean, like, it's such a bullshit way to win. Absolutely bullshit way to win. But hey, that's all right. It's my deck. I'll do with it as I please. I will take out, like I said, a bunch of the counters. I have a deck idea I want to do. So 2 decks ideas I want to do. The one I'm talking about right now is I want to make a deck based on like mirrors, like MIRROR, not MYER mirrors. But gimmicking around being mirrors and all that. Have some counters, have some mirror creatures that have some copies. Have a lot of fun with it. And then there's another deck I want to do eventually. Before I show this off, is a mono black ramp deck, a mono black mana ramp. But I want to base it around 1 card, and that is a 2-carded creature called BFM, Big Furry Monster. It's a 15 drop. It's a 15 swamp drop, I should add. So you need 15 swamps to play it. So if you got some blood or dark rituals, you can get that out pretty easily. Furry, yes, me, the furry. But anywho, if you play it, it's it's like a 99. It's a 99.99, I believe. Right? Hold on, let me pull it up here. So Big Furry Monster. Where are you at? Google, work with me here. MTG. Yep, Big Furry Monster. This is real, by the way. It's a real card. Okay, yep. It's a 99.99. You must play both cards to put BFM into play. If either BFM card leaves play, you sacrifice the other. It can't be blocked, but it can be blocked only by 3 or more creatures. So hold on, hopefully my phone brightness is. Oh fuck. Okay, yeah. If I turn on the brightness a bit, there we go. That's what I want to base the mono black around. Look at that beefy boy. I've wanted to do that for years too, so hopefully sometime soon I'm able to get it going. But without further ado, it's the last deck to show off. Then I'll play a little bit more MTG Arena, like probably a few more games. So this Slytherin deck is my best deck. This is my Angel Demon deck, a black-white deck. And when I say it's my best deck, oh boy, this really is. I outdid myself with this one. It's super nice, super chill, super cool. And I think this deck has won me the most games. So without further ado, I'll start with a good old Soul Salvage. Return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. So it's a nice little 3-drop. That's super cool. Last Kiss, another nice 3-drop. Last Kiss deals 2 damage to target creature and you gain 2 life. There's plenty of life gain in this deck for a good reason, because there's plenty of sacrifice in this deck as well. Oh, this Slaughter Pact is a good card. It can be risky if you don't exactly have the mana cost for the last part. So it's a 0 cost. Slaughter Pact is black, and you destroy a target non-black creature. At the beginning of your next upkeep, pay a swamp and 2 mana, but if you don't, you lose the game. So it's usually, for me, not too risky of a card to go for, but I've played some risky maneuvers with it a couple times, and it has lost me a couple games. I'll admit, it's lost me a couple games, but I had no other choice. Otherwise, I was going to lose the game anyway. But it's a nice little card to have. A swamp. Another swamp. A plains. Another swamp. Serra Avenger. It's a 3/3/2 cost, but it cannot be cast during the first, second, or third turns of the game. Flying and Vigilance. Swamp. Safe Passage. We saw this earlier in my white-blue. Prevent all damage that be dealt to you and creatures you control this turn. Alright. Abyssal Persecutor. It's a 4-drop. Flying Trample 6/6. You can't win the game and opponents can't lose the game. I mean, it's good to get opponents down at least. But if you can't get rid of it, then you don't have any means of winning. So, Chroma's Memorial. Creatures you control have Flying, First Strike, Vigilance, Trample, Haste, Protection from Black, and Protection from Red. This is a absolutely broken artifact if you can get it out. Especially in this deck. This was one I was recommended in one of my most useful cards. My second most useful, I should say. Baneslayer Angel. 2 plains, 3 additional mana. It's a 5/5 with Flying, First Strike, Lifelink, Protection from Demons, and from Dragons. So with that, and combine that with a little bit of the stuff you get from Chroma's Memorial, this is absolutely broken. If you can get that combo. I mean, it's a good card to begin with anyway. Super neat. I have a Chaplain's Blessing. It's a 1-drop. You gain 5 life. Another Serra Avenger. Another Plains. Segovian Angel. It's a 1/1 Flying Vigilance. Nice early game stuff to have. Nice early game creature. Soul Cage Fiend. This is my 3rd most useful card. Soul Cage Fiend. It's a 3/2. 2 swamp, 1 additional mana. When it dies, each player, including yourself, loses 3 life. So either way, if you attack someone with 3 life off of them, either way, someone's losing 3. Another Chaplain's Blessings. An Angel of Despair. It's a 5/5, 2 black, 2 white, and 3 additional mana. Flying, and when it enters battlefield, you destroy target permanent. Super neat card. My most useful card. Dream Devourer. And it's a 2-drop, it's a 0/3. You're wondering, why is it your most useful card? Well, it's the ability. It has Foretell. Each non-land card in your hand without Foretell has Foretell. Its Foretell cost is equal to its mana cost reduced by 2. During your turn, you may pay 2 and exile it from your hand face down. Cast it at a later time for its Foretell cost. So, for example, Angel of Despair, that 3 goes down to 1. Or another example, Baneslayer, that 3 also goes down to 1. So it just makes it cost 2 less later on in the game. And when you foretell a card, Dream Devourer gets +2/+0 till end of turn. So this is my most useful card. I have like 4 of them, I believe. Super nice card to have. Swamp. Bruna, the Fading Light. When you cast Bruna, the Fading Light, you may return target angel or human creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Has Flying and Vigilance. It's a 5/7. 2 white and 5 additional mana. And it melds with a card called Gisela, the Broken Blade, which I'll show that off here soon. So I'll put that to the side here for now. Another Swamp, another Chaplain's Blessing, another Plains, another Baneslayer, another Plains, my second Abyssal Persecutor, second Dream Devourer, although Chaplain's Blessing, another Last Kiss, another Baneslayer, Plains, a Swamp, and Seraph of the Scales. It's a 4/3 1 Swamp, 1 Plains, 2 additional mana, 4/3 Angel. It's flying, and you can tap a Plains to give it Vigilance till end of turn. You can tap a Swamp to give it Death Touch till end of turn. It has Afterlife 2. Whenever it dies, you create 2 1/1 white and black spirit creature tokens with flying. And then this is what I like to sacrifice my Abyssal Persecutor for, usually, is Demon of Catastrophes. It's a 2 Swamp, 2 additional mana, 6/6. As an additional cost to cast the spell, sacrifice a creature, it's Flying Trample. So it's essentially Abyssal Persecutor without the you can't win the game and opponents can't lose the game BS going on. Another Seraph, Angel of Serenity. It's a 5/6 with flying. It's 3 white mana and 4 additional mana. But when it enters the battlefield, you may exile up to 3 other target creatures from the battlefield and or creature cards from the graveyard. And when it leaves the battlefield, return the exiled cards to its owner's hand. So this is super nifty to have. Either it can control, what your opponents are doing, get rid of their cards for a little bit, or if you have cards you want to return from the graveyard that you have no other means to return them, you can just exile them if you can bring this back somehow, or if the opponent kills it, they run the risk of having those cards returned. Bloodgift Demon, it's a 5/4 5-drop, flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, target player draws a card and loses 1 life. So I've used that quite a bit as well. Another Dream Devourer, another Soulcage Fiend. There's Gisela, the Broken Blade. It's a 4-drop, flying, first strike, lifelink. Beginning of your end step. If you both own and control Gisela, the Broken Blade, and a creature named Bruna, the Fading Light, exile them, then you'll meld them into Priscilla, Voice of Nightmares, which I will show at the end here. So another Soulcage Fiend, another Dream Devourer, a Swamp, another Swamp, 2 Plains, yet another Swamp. That's a good Segovian Angel. It's a good chunk of mana right there, mana clump. Another Soulcage Fiend, a Swamp, a Plains. Oh god, this really is a good chunk. A Vicious Offering. It's a 2-drop, or you can kick it by sacrificing a creature. Target creature gets -2/-2 till end of turn. If the spell is kicked, then that creature, it gets -5/-5 until end of turn instead, which is super nice, might I add. Super nice. Plains. Platinum Angel. I have one of these. It's a 4/4 flying. You can't lose the game, and opponents can't win the game. Played that with Abyssal Persecutor, you have completely broken the game until one of them is out. Okay, let me see if I can get the focus here. There we go. Right. Oh, riot control. You gain 1 life for each creature your opponent controls. Prevent all damage that will be dealt to you this turn. So if it could just focus, please. Thank you. Please. Thank you. So, yep, there it is. Super, super nice. Be like, oh man, you got me. Not sort of card. Last Kiss. Apocalypse Demon. I've made use of this a couple times. It can be pretty broken. 6 drop, flying, Apocalypse Demon, power, toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your graveyard. At the beginning of your upkeep, you tap Apocalypse Demon unless you sacrifice another creature. That's another way to get Abyssal Persecutor out off the field. So Plains. Another Soul Salvage. Sunblast Angel. It's a 4/5 flying. When it enters the battlefield, destroy all tapped creatures. This is a nice card. I just haven't had the chance to use this often. I've used it a couple times. It's been super nice. I think I've only used it twice, 2 or 3 times. Oh, my favorite card. Day of Judgment. I've got one of these in this deck. I might throw another one. I'm going to throw some more in here eventually. Because I've only got the one. Spawn of Mayhem. It's a 4-drop 4/4. And it has a spectacle cost of 3 instead if you deal damage to an opponent. Or if an opponent lost life this turn, I should say. So, Flying Trample at the beginning of your upkeep. Spawn of Mayhem deals 1 damage to each player. Then if you have 10 or less life, put a 1/1 counter on Spawn of Mayhem, make it a 5/5. So you can see why I have some life gain in here. There's definitely a lot of sacrifice in this deck as well for the demon side of things. So you see, go focus. There we go. There we go. That's a nice card. Alright, so Bane, another Bane Slayer, another Segovian Angel, another Segovian Angel, Archangel Athun, flying lifelink. Whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. So, if played right, this card could make things get way out of control. Which is good for you, mind you. But for your opponents, not so much. Angel of Jubilation, flying 3/3. It's a 4-drop. Other non-black creatures you control get +1/+1. The players can't pay life or sacrifice creatures to cast spells or activate abilities. So that's kind of a downside for me if I want to get cards that need sacrifice, but oh well. Demon Grasp, target creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn. Another Plains and a Swamp. Alright, now that I've shown that, I should show off my Bracilla, the combo. So of course, if you got both Bruna and Gisela, you get a very wonderful creature here. So let me just flip these around real quick. So as you can probably tell, these are 2-sided. And it's a 2-card. So you get Bracilla, the Voice of Nightmares. Let's see if I can. I'm going to take the camera off a little bit, just to show it off here. So look at that card, Bracilla, the Voice of Nightmares. It's a legendary Eldrazi Angel 9/10 as flying, first strike, vigilance, lifelink. Your opponents can't cast spells with converted mana cost 3 or less. I have gotten this card off plenty of times, and let me tell you, it is absolutely broken. Ridiculously broken. Especially if your opponents have decks that focus on low cost spells and all that. You get this out, those spells are rendered useless. Absolutely useless. And that's my best deck and all of my decks that I have for now. I plan on, of course, like I said, getting a couple new decks. I want to rework a couple of my rework my vampires, rework my blue-white into a spirit control populate deck. But I like my decks for now. I say they're all super neat in their own way. I wish my vampire deck had like more than one win. It almost had 2 wins, but the second dumbest play I've ever done happened. So, whoopsies. Okay, hold on. Let me just get my cards in my deck box here. And then, oh gosh, I didn't realize that would take like an hour. Or I didn't realize that would take an hour. Holy crap. Yeah, I guess that's what happens when you have a good amount of cards. So that's all my decks. So Sly, next time I see you, if we ever play when we play Magic the Gathering in person, that's the decks you're gonna have to deal with. So good luck to you, buddy. When we face each other in MTG, good luck to you. Especially the Angel Demon. If I pull out the vampires, unless they're not built that well, you might be fine. So real quick, I'm gonna pause Spotify here because I got time for one more game. One more game of MTG Arena. So let me just go here. Let me open Arena back up. There we go. We'll play. And while I'll go with Angelic Accountants, but I'm curious if Spilia, Sly, and anyone else who might be in chat, if you guys are still in chat, what was your favorite deck? I'm curious, what was your favorite deck among those that you saw? If there are any particular ones that really popped out at you. Meantime, I'll go ahead and get this playing. Go ahead and get this camera out the way. There we go. Okay, we're going against Tribe. Oh, another red Planeswalker person I see. Okay, we're definitely keeping. Sky Bridge Tower is going to be the first thing to go out. Stuff over here a bit. Nice. Ooh. Deserted Beach. Unless you control 2 or more lands. Okay. I'll save that for later. It's gonna be Tribe's turn again. Oh. As haste. Hey. Let's do that right off the bat. Okay, nah. That's 2. But it's gonna cost. Okay, nah. Enter. I'm not gonna risk anything just yet. I'll pass. Let you have 2 more damage. Now it's my turn. Unless you control 2 or more lands. So this can come in untapped. Sands. Yep, I can actually use this. Haste. Okay, good. It doesn't untap or control next untap step. Oh, you have instants. I should have been able to choose, I thought, but oh well. Oh, it must be untapped. I don't know. I've got a good defense. When another creature enters the battlefield and control, that creature gets haste until end of turn. So I'll block it. I'll let my game load. Put another plane out. Oh, it's a 4-drop. So I wouldn't have enough anyway. Indestructible till end of turn. I'm just seeing what I can do here. There we go. That as a 2/3. I will not attack. Although if it died, I could have get counter Celestial Regulator. That's fine. As haste now. So either way, it's gonna do some damage. Like, Perish Blade Training is definitely gonna die. Okay, so plus you. Okay. What do you got? Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, smart play. Nice. So I have to compliment that. That was actually kind of good. But I am gonna have to borrow time. End of turn. Okay. Oh, what did you play? My game's catching up. What did you play? Oh, well, can't be countered. Deal 6 damage to any target. Ooh. My turn. I can't do anything. Yet, at least. Can you drop like a 3-drop, please? That'd be wonderful. Oh, you're having the same problem as me? Cool. Crap, we're both having the same problem. Oh boy. That'll be Vicious Stand. Actually, no. Get rid of Cigar Guard of Stone. What? No, I had the mana for it. I had the mana for it. Why didn't it let me do it? Yeah, go ahead and pay it. I gain 1 life. Mana value of X or less. Pay 2. There we go. Now let me do it. You can't use it while it's on the stack since it's still not on the back. Oh, okay, okay. That makes much more sense. I was confused about that. Also, Superstar Earth, thank you for joining in. Thank you. Welcome. I was wondering what was going on. I was like, wait a minute, why can't I use it? How's your day going so far? I know it's my last game, unfortunately, because I'm going to be wrapping up here soon, but how's your day going so far? Well, hopefully it's been pretty good. Not too bad. Nice, nice. Well, we always like to hear that. Always lovely to have a good day, and always love to see new faces around here. So I saw you're a first-time chatter, so welcome.
For real?
Oh my goodness, thank you for the follow. I know what it says on the Twitch affiliate goal thing, but we're not 48 followers. Let's go. And even then, no matter what. Oh, you may have undercover operative on the battlefield as a copy of the creature on the battlefield, except it enters the shield counter on it if you control that creature. Oh crap. Let's go. Only 3 more for you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully it happens. You know, I would like to do affiliate, but if not, it's alright. Oh god. Do I sack? Ooh. I have a plan. It's a very risky plan, but I'm gonna go no block. I would trade it. Whoops. That's alright, because now I can do this, so. So, creature control with 1/1 counters on them have base power of 4 tough. So, don't have a 1/1 on it yet. Cancel attack. No attacks. I'm gonna make sure I have defense. Yeah, I should have traded it off because that wouldn't have done anything. I misread the card. Oh no, I don't wanna. Battlefield. Okay, sweet. We submit that. I have a 5/5 now. Ooh. That's fine.
There are good people in this city.
And I can do
and I will
+1.
protect them. Be brave.
Give it lifelink. Probably should have gave it vigilant or first strike first, but oh well. Oh no, we're fine, we're fine. We'll do the +1.
I know there's a hero inside you.
Vigilant. All attack. 1 attacker. Next. I gained some life, so that risk ended up being alright in the end. As long as you don't deal damage to my Elspeth. 1+0 until end of turn. Okay, that's fine. That's until end of turn, so I'm not too worried. Oh, wait, I forgot. I have my Skybridge towers. I can sack. Oh no, we'll see what I'm dealing with here. Oh, nice. I am gonna play it safe. I'm gonna sack this first. See what I draw. Crap the planes. Get the wizard out. Okay, it becomes a 5/5. And we're close to the end game, I can feel it, so I'm gonna go ahead and -7 her.
Once
Instead
I've
of sack
rested,
the land on end step, I should have, you're right.
back.
If I thought about it, I should. That way I could have had more mana, too. Oh. Well, they forfeited. Okay, that works, too. Sweet. Alrighty, yay. I mean, I guess I'll take it. I mean, it's a victory. Then again, I was going to hit him hard. Even if it is 3-1, if it's just 5 3-3s. Alright, well, you know. Oh, what'd I get? What else did I get? Hold on, I'm just gonna see. 1. Master it, okay. before I go, let me check out this mastery. Okay, it's loading, that's for sure. Mastery tree. Okay, can't go save sleeves. Oh, is it just sleeves? Well, obviously, I think I know what I'm going for. Obviously, I gotta go with those sleeves. Oh, I got it. Get a card. Nice. Numborg Repossession has a kicker of 1 forest and 1 additional mana. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. You gain 2 life. If this spell is kicked, return another target permanent card that from your graveyard to your hand. I claim my prize. I did claim it, right? Yeah, I think so. So go hold. Packs. Let's see how close I am to that. Oh dang, 3 more packs. Just need 3 more wins. Or no, it's 3 more packs in general. As much as I would like to keep playing though, this is because I usually wrap up around 7, so this is where I'll have to wrap it up because I gotta work in the morning too. So if I could stay up a little later, I would. But unfortunately, this is where I'm gonna have to end it here. Was some good sessions today. Those some pretty good games. I'm honestly happy that I was able to do a Magic the Gathering stream personally. Like I said in the beginning of this game's been a big part of my life. So to be able to share that with you guys today, honestly, it's been super nice. Have a good night. Oh, thank you, Superstar Earth. I hope you have a good night as well. So thank you so much, and thank you again for the follow. I really do appreciate it. It's always nice to see it's always nice to see new people around here too, as well as the old ones as well. Everyone's appreciated here. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch my. Well, first I'm gonna go ahead and exit out the game by this means. Switch to just a me. It's a me. And keep the music playing. Okay, there we go. So no, I am gonna, of course, end the stream here. So thank you all so much again for watching today. It's been a super fun stream. Super happy I decided to do this. So of course, once MTG Arena decides to exit out, I will get some links posted here. Maybe. Oh no, this game does not like. Don't give me the security breach treatment. There we go. Thank you. I was worried I was never gonna be able to get out of it. So no, if you liked what you saw and you hadn't followed already and you want to see more, please definitely feel free to follow. I am playing 2 series right now on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Tuesdays being Pokemon Legends Arceus, which looks like this week's stream for Arceus is going to be the last one. It's looking like. Looks like I'm going to be doing endgame and some post-game stuff probably. I'm not sure what post-game stuff Legends Arceus might have. And then Wednesdays, I'm doing Breath of the Wild, which I just started last week. So I'm not super far in the game. I have played it, of course, before. But I'm going to be playing this game on our journey to Tears of the Kingdom when that comes out in May. And of course, Twitch is not all I do. I also do happen to have a YouTube channel, which if it would ever load up on Google, I can definitely share the link with y'all. So, okay, there we go. Now it's opening. Okay, wonderful. Maybe. Okay, I'm gonna give it a little bit of time here. Uh-oh. I'm frozen. There we go. Okay. I probably, admittedly, should have pulled all this up before. Who would have thought that pulling all this up before might have prevented this issue from happening? So let me copy real quick. Paste that link in the chat there. So there's my YouTube. I'm gonna be doing some stuff here soon with it, so definitely keep your eyes out for new content coming out. Some gaming edited gaming stuff of past streams I've done, as well as some voiceover stuff, and eventually some music stuff. That is also in the plans for the channel. So now that YouTube's done, I'm going to post next a couple of my social links where I usually try to keep up to date, everyone up to speed on stuff I do.